Hello everyone, this is Lori from Grammy's Keepsakes, and I received these beautiful dyed fabrics from a very dear friend. Thank you, Suzanne. And this one is using some rust and some other dyeing experiments. These are all some of her dyeing experiments and rusting, she said. So here we have some pretty purple and yellow colors along with the rust. And I believe this one she probably dyed with black bean. She was talking about that. I don't know for certain that this is, but it's beautiful. And I received 6 or 7 pieces, and what I did was I made book cloth out of them right away. Now, in the past, I've made book cloth and I have shared my process. And what I do is I iron on heat and bond light, and then I take off that paper backing and I iron on tissue paper. So then I can just glue it right onto my journals. And this is what's left. What I have are a bunch of journal covers that I've been working on. And I've been covering some Reader's Digest books. So this is one of those with the rust. And I've been finding some different prints and getting them ready for the front cover adornment. And this is one of those with the black bean, and I like that on there. And here we've got a little fairy on this one. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's take a quick look. And we're going to start my process here. Isn't that beautiful with the rusting? Just love it. Getting into the different blues, aquas, and purples. And this one and this one look to me like they are like northern lights, the aurora borealis. And that's what I kind of wanted to play with these. But I have my book covers all ready to go. Now what I want to do is play with altering some wallpaper. And what I do first is cut it to size, and these are samples from the book. And let me grab the gesso. And I just use a Liquitex gesso. It's a white one. And let's just put some of it, well, maybe let's get some of it on here. Let's try putting it in the little cup. I do like to water it down, so let me put it in this little cup. I'm thinking I should probably start storing it upside down. we'll start with that. And I've got a water bottle handy. So just add a little bit of water. And I'm just going to use the end of a paintbrush. And let's stir it up. I hear that little grit in it. The reason I like to put the gesso on the wallpaper first is because I'm going to be doing some decoupaging on it or collaging and some texture paste. And so I want it to be able to stick. And on my glass mat, what I have is a cereal box liner. And I just open that up and use that. And just brush this on kind of lightly, but all over. Because I want it to have tooth so that my other mediums will stick to it. Because wallpaper by nature is like a vinyl coating, and it's supposed to be able to wipe it off and nothing stick to it. So I definitely want the glue to stick, so I'm adding this. So we just go ahead and put that on this side, and then on the inside it has the words, and I do like to cover that with some of the gesso also, so that when I go to cover it up it is diffused. But I want to wait until these are dry. So I'm just going to put the gesso on these two pieces and we'll set them aside to dry. I have several others that are ready to go. And this is a process that I did in the last set of journals that I made. And I thought I would have some fun and do it again. And this time I'm going to bring you along for the ride. Okay, I'm going to just put the cover on this so that it doesn't dry out while we're waiting for our vinyl to dry. Okay, there, couldn't get the cover on. And then we'll get this put in the water. And set that to the side. And now I can remove my whole plastic and just let them dry. We'll set them like this, so we can get on to our next fun. And I've got another piece of cereal liner. And now I put them all in a different order again, so let me grab here we've got some wallpaper pieces that are gessoed and they're all ready to go. And it does have a coat because I'm going to put a napkin. I'm going to do some stamping and put a napkin on inside. But we're going to work with the outside for now. But they have that tooth to them, so we can get it, lots of stuff to stick. And these are going to go into this journal here. So I have that handy. And what I want to do is a little bit of collage. I'm going to use a little bit of green on each one of them. This is painter's masking paper. And just going to use a little bit of that on each one. So we have a little bit of consistency so that they all look like they're supposed to go together. I want them all to be different, but a little bit of consistencies. And then grab some of my scraps. I've got my scrap bin handy. And just kind of see what I have. This is like a tracing paper. And here, hard to get a nice long rip. And maybe a little bit of book page. Trying to get some different examples. Go with those for now. Oh, here, maybe a couple pieces of music. and get my glue book. I didn't know what I was going to play with, so I'm just got stuff just kind of everywhere. And I need the decoupage. Here, let's use some of this small bottle. This is a really fragile, old Swedish book. Well, let's just start. Whoa. Well, that came out in a hurry. Move my bin a little bit. Hope you can see. Let me grab an old brush. Yeah, I'm making a mess. That's okay. I love to make messes. Let's grab a pokey tool here. Good thing this stuff dries clear, right? See if I've got any baby wipes. I'm going to ink this a little bit. And we'll put this text page on here. Grab a different one. Love to get messy. Okay. And do a little bit more inking. So I'm just going to do these 4 pages so that we can move on to the next step real quick. Get some of this shorthand book. It's been a long time since I've been able to read and take shorthand, that's for sure. I think it's pretty much a dying art. Okay, let's do this one quick. These are definitely just quick pieces. And a little bit of ink on this. I'm using Vintage Photo. And this is definitely a mass making, except with some differences, because some I'm using the wallpaper, some I'm going to use some digitals. These are the anchor pages for each of the journals, and there's going to be 4 signatures in each journal. So it's I'm going to use designer scrapbook paper, like the Prima cardstock kind, and die cuts with a view, I believe, are the 2 I've chosen. And some digitals from Pink Monarch, I believe. Now I need another little bunch of glue here, and I'm just, well, dumping it out on my glue book and then using the brush. And what else do I have? I've got digitals, printables, yeah, and yeah, the wallpaper and the scrapbooking cardstock. So there'll be a little bit of variance. Okay, this is the last one, and then I'm going to choose some flowers or some fussy cut of something to put on top of these. And we need some more book page. Let's see. Got one of each. Let's use a little bit more of this. Oh, yeah, no, we've already used the Swedish. Let's go ahead and use the German. So this is definitely going to be done in stages, but I'm hoping to get to show you a little bit of everything that I'm going to be doing. You can use a brayer. I'm just using my Teflon bone folder to just making sure that it's all spread on there. Okay, let's close up the glue. And that's just the matte Mod Podge. Let's move these out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and put the glue brush in the water too. And I'm going to go ahead and fold the glue page in half. Let the glue get nice and dried so I'll have a nice sturdy journaling card to use on another day. And if I find that a corner of something lifts, I'll just stick some glue in it. I like the real fine tip of the art glitter glue, so I can usually squeeze that in. Okay, so we've got 4 covers semi-done. They've got their bases on. So I've got a container of fussy cuts here, so let's go ahead and take some of these out and decide what colors we want to play with. And grab that book cover again. So we've got the beautiful golds, browns, rusts, greens. So I know I want to eliminate some of the colors I know I don't want in there. That helps me with the choices. And I had a great big book of wildflowers, and I just sat down over the course of a few days, and all I did was fussy cut and then divide them up into their colors and put them in one of these little Velcro poly envelopes. Nice and handy. And of course, I'm not quite sure what I want. So we can just kind of play. And the ones I know I don't want, we'll just go ahead and get rid of those. It's kind of cute, but it's little. Let's get rid of it. Let's look in this one. Not enough room to work. What else do we have? Let's dig some a little bit. This has got that foresty front, so oh, look at that. A tree. And of course I'll use my ink and color them up a little bit. But that's a big one. That won't work. Way too big. Some of these are pretty huge. Well, let's check out some of these that I have already and see what. I want to see what this looks like once it's inked to see if it's in the contender or not. I'm going to grab a little brush and get rid of that white. And put a little label on them. I'm going to do some stitching on here also. Get rid of the white on this one too. Got a little heavy-handed, but that's okay. Well, so that the video doesn't get too long, let's just go ahead and work with these two. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And I'm going to use my Scotch Create permanent glue stick. And also a little bit of the art glitter glue around the edges because of the wallpaper. It is gessoed, but I want to make sure that I'm not going to have any trouble. Looks like the baby wipe is wiping away some of that ink, but that's okay. Bone folder. go ahead and put this one down too. And then I'm going to show you what I do with texture paste. Kind of wiping up some of that heavy-handedness. That's kind of a nice little bonus. Put the pin back in. And I will put a label on them also, but let's go ahead and play with the texture paste a little bit so you can see what I'm going to do with that. And I've got some stencils ready that I thought I would play with, and I think I'm going to go for putting on some butterflies on this one. And let's grab some masking tape. I just want a few of the little butterflies, so I'm going to just mask off what I don't want. Okay. You'll just grab a little bit of the modeling paste and just apply it in the stencil. I'm going to grab a smaller one. I have more control over these little tiny areas. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's an odd number. Let's go with it. You know what? I'm going to break the rule and put one right here where it's half on the background and half on the fussy cut. Now I have 6, but that's okay. We're going with it. Now I want to remove the stencil. And let this dry. And then we'll come back after it's dry and paint it. So now for this one, what should we do? Oh, I know. In my other container, I have a better stencil. Let's use this Tim Holtz stencil. Here. No, I want this one instead. This is a Prima stencil. Okay. And this one's going to be fun. So it kind of goes in and around with the collaging, and then we'll come in and paint it. Let's bring a little bit more on it down here. Hopefully, let me see if I can bring it up so you can see what I'm doing without messing it up. Okay, so on this note, I think now we will say goodbye for today, and we'll let these dry, and then we'll come back and have some more fun.